The subway station under downtown Chicago was loud, cold, and easy to ignore. Every morning, hundreds of people rushed past without looking down at the young man sitting beside the tiled wall with a cracked guitar case open in front of him. His name was Ethan Cole. Most people only knew him as the subway singer, but nobody knew where he came from. At 23, Ethan had already lost almost everything. His father died in a factory accident when he was 14. His mother struggled with addiction and disappeared 2 years later. After aging out of foster care, Ethan bounced between shelters, abandoned motels, and nights spent sleeping inside train stations during brutal winters. Still, every night he sang. Not for money, for survival. Music was the only thing that made him feel human again. Ethan's guitar had 2 broken strings repaired with fishing wire. His hoodie smelled like rain and dust. Yet whenever he played, people slowed down. His voice carried pain that couldn't be faked. One freezing December evening, a little girl stopped in front of him while her mother searched for train tickets nearby. "Mom," she whispered, "why does he sound sad?" Ethan heard it. For the first time in months, he smiled. The mother dropped $20 into his case before walking away, but the girl stayed behind for one more second. "You sing like the radio," she said. That sentence stayed in Ethan's mind all night. Weeks later, a local cafe owner named Marcus Reed noticed Ethan singing outside during a snowstorm. Marcus invited him inside for coffee and offered him a small weekend job washing dishes. "You ever record your music?" Marcus asked. Ethan laughed softly. "I can barely afford dinner." Marcus wasn't rich, but he believed talent deserved one chance. He used an old phone to record Ethan singing an original song called Empty Streets. Then he uploaded it online. At first, almost nobody watched it. 20 views, 40 views, 100. Then suddenly, something changed. A famous music blogger reposted the video with one sentence, "Rawest voice I've heard in years." By the next morning, the video exploded across social media. Millions watched Ethan singing beside a snowy Chicago sidewalk while police sirens echoed in the background. People connected with the honesty in his voice. There were no expensive cameras, no studio effects, no fake image. Just pain. Real pain. Record labels started calling Marcus nonstop. But Ethan didn't trust any of them. "They care now because the internet cares," he said. Marcus nodded. "Maybe, but this could change your life." One independent producer from Nashville stood out from the rest. Her name was Olivia Hart. Instead of promising fame, she simply told Ethan, "I don't want to change your story. I want people to hear it." That mattered to him. Ethan traveled to Nashville for the first time in his life. He slept on studio couches and spent 14-hour nights recording songs about loneliness, broken families, addiction, and hope. Every lyric came from real memories. When his first album, Cold Sidewalks, released, nobody expected it to succeed. But it did. Massively. Truck drivers played it during midnight highways. College students shared it online. Veterans wrote letters saying his songs helped them through depression. One single, Ghosts in the Winter, stayed on streaming charts for months. Still, Ethan never forgot where he came from. Before concerts, he often walked alone through nearby streets just to stay grounded. Sometimes he secretly paid for meals at homeless shelters without telling anyone. Then came the biggest surprise of all. The Grammy nominations. Ethan was repairing coffee machines backstage at a small venue when Marcus called him screaming, "You got nominated." Ethan thought it was a joke. But it wasn't. Best New Artist. Best Song. Album of the Year. The night of the Grammy Awards felt unreal. Ethan stood among celebrities he used to hear on borrowed radios inside shelters. Cameras flashed everywhere. Expensive suits. Diamond jewelry. $1 million smiles. But Ethan's hands still shook like the homeless kid in the subway. When his category was announced, the arena fell silent. And the Grammy goes to... Pause. Ethan Cole. The crowd exploded. Ethan froze completely. Marcus pushed him gently toward the stage. With tears in his eyes, Ethan walked to the microphone holding the Golden Award like it didn't belong to him. For a few seconds, he couldn't speak. Then he finally said, 3 years ago, I was sleeping in a train station trying not to freeze to death. The audience became silent. Ethan looked down at the trophy. People walked past me every day like I was invisible. But one little girl once told me I sounded like the radio. That moment saved me more than she'll ever know. Many people in the audience were crying now. Ethan smiled softly. So if someone out there feels forgotten tonight, you're not invisible. Your story isn't over. The crowd stood up in a full standing ovation. Backstage later that night, reporters asked him what winning a Grammy felt like. Ethan looked at the award for a long moment before answering. "It feels good," he said quietly. But honestly, having someone finally listen meant even more.